That's my job, you know. Just it's my job of the older players. But my job as a leader is just to make sure we're energized, make sure that that we have a ton of energy and that we don't get beat down. I think we know where we are. As a program right now, we just got to continue to play to the identity that we're trying to build right now. And if you're trying to build an identity of toughness, competitiveness, then you're never broken by tough losses or just where we're at right now. So that responsibility is on. So they always know where they stand with us, and again, my job as a leader of the program is to, as we're making progress as a program, even though it's not as much as any of us would like, to let them know that they are helping us. This team this year is helping us build something right now. They're helping us build an identity. They're helping us build a competitiveness or a respect when we take the court from our opponents that we haven't had recently. So it's my job to let them know that we're close to a breakthrough and that we are building something here, even though it's not exactly what we would like it to be at this point in terms of wins and losses.
It seems like after the last two, 3 games, the players, at least the ones that we talk to, are getting that message and they're not hanging their heads. They're disappointed but proud of what they can do. Do you kind of sense that? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, these guys, we're in, more than a year and a half in with building the organization that we want. And part of building the type of organization that you want is your ability to go to work every day with enthusiasm, your ability to go to work every day with attention to detail and passion and competitiveness and great communication and all be on the same page and show up the right way. So I think that's been reflected in a way that in the last, after these couple of difficult losses, that we haven't been flat. And I just think it's a sign of just progress, just for our organization, and that we're much closer to being on the same page than we were last year in terms of the expectation.
How much can winning a game like the last 3 accelerate that progress? Is it moving forward quicker?
I mean, the issues that we have as a team, especially at the offensive end, they're not. We got to continue to work at, like not turning the ball over, not settling early in the possession, taking a bad shot, trying to do too much with the ball. Those are things that we can fix at that end of the court. But the other issues you're dealing with, in terms of things you just can't do, that we can't fix. But what we can make sure, is that in these games moving forward, the message to the players is this is not a game on the schedule the rest of the way that we can't win. And if we continue, to compete and battle at the level that we are, that there's wins out there for us and enough that we can feel good about what we did this year, and that we just have to be mentally tough.
Any thoughts about just so much crazy things happened at UCTV? Any, just looking back, any thoughts on that?
Oh, it was crazy. But like what was going on that led to Kamani's technical, which we went back and saw on film. What got Kamani upset. James fouling out in that scenario. The technical on their guy. Late. It was obviously the situation at the game, which was not handled properly. I mean, the good thing was we didn't have any time to. We just had a couple hours on the flight, and then in the early morning on Saturday, Friday. Today's Saturday. Sorry. Sorry. It was just like we kind of dealt with all the issues and the different scenarios that were. I mean, the things that went on in that game in the second half. You go a whole season and not see 2 of them, and there was like 5 of them. And then obviously the mistake at the end.
Did you know that? I mean,
You knew it. It was like we we immediately subbed Josh in right after the 5-second violation, and then Josh was on the court for a number of seconds, and then it just looked to me like somebody at the scorer's table, Phil, somebody at the scorer's table didn't think that we should be allowed to do that, and then from there, Josh was, but the two officials, demanded that he be taken off the court. So we didn't think the rule was right at the time, and had no awareness that we weren't allowed to do that on a change of possession. We put Tammy in the game so that we had the ability, at least from an agility standpoint, to put a Cook on the ball, and then just have a smaller, quicker guy that could potentially lead to a 5-second violation, a quick trap, just get a mobile guy on the court, because neither Josh nor Cook could deny anyone the ball. So we got exactly what we wanted out of it, but not being able to get Josh on the court led to the events that then followed, which was just an unfortunate way for it to end for us. That's an unfortunate ending for the way we battled in the game, to not then be able to get a proper offensive group on the court.
So you've let the league know that you think the rule was interpreted wrong?
Yes, we're awaiting their judgment. So with other clips that they have, that they're chewing on from other outings.
You mentioned those conversations you're having with players. How have those changed since the beginning of the season?
They haven't changed much. I mean, our goals haven't changed. We talk about the process. We talk about we don't get too far ahead of ourselves. We don't think 3 games out, 4 games out. When you're at the point we're at as a program, you're really just focused on just trying to have a great film session, great practice, everyone carrying themselves the right way in study hall, have a great plan for recruiting, late side. We're so focused on just doing the next thing right, so that we can get better and just continue to improve, where we stand. Obviously, when you have players that are struggling or you're going through a tough stretch, they sound real down. Our job is to keep them up. Our job is obviously to try to get them to not make the same types of mistakes, but also too, my job as a leader, the program, the staff's job is to keep everybody energized and positive and hopeful about what we can still accomplish during the course of the year, while obviously being realistic about where you currently stand. So.
Tulsa, obviously the big win over Memphis, and they beat Houston too.
Yeah.
It seems like kid, is it Rachel? I don't know.
Yeah, Rachel's had a big impact.
Yeah. Just in general, what have you seen from
them?
I
mean, Horn and Igbanu, Horn really killed us last year. Tremendous kind of pick and pop 4-man with also the ability to play in the mid post and play with a live dribble. He's causes problems for us at the 4, and we've struggled with 4 men matching up with. Cook's had trouble guarding guys out to the 3-point line this year, so that's a concern. Igbanu is a beast, at center, and they're, with Rachel and all of their, the 4 or 5 guards are going to play. They're all physical. They're smart. They play their role, and the matchup zone for them has gotten better as the season's gone on. It's tough to play against. Obviously, they're playing at a much higher level than they were playing in the non-conference.
With the Cook, you talked last week or so about his legs and everything, and he's still thinking like he's trying to. Is he hit a little bit of a wall?
I think a little bit in terms of an energy standpoint, but I was, whatever, man. I was happy with what he did on offense the other day. Obviously, I wasn't happy with the 1 for 9, but I was just happy that he was. Looking to get a lot more involved. He was finding his way to the ball. He kind of wasn't as frozen. While we were playing offense, he was aggressive. He was assertive. We need him to we need him to grow offensively this year so that he can become the player that we envision him being for us at some point.
You anticipate seeing more zone this year, given your, obviously with Tyler out now, the outside shooting hasn't been great, and is that something?
Yeah, I think zone or sagging man. Obviously, people, right now look at us and, we're going to try and take away driving lanes, try and take Josh away in the post, because we do throw it inside a lot, especially against teams that don't trap it. But we need James. We need James shot ready. We need him to step in and make some. We need Brendan. It's critical for Brendan, to make shots for us. And Christian, obviously, made a couple the other day in the long contested one at the end of the half. Maybe somebody getting paint and getting Al a good look. But yeah, we're going to have to. We're not going to be able to score enough points to win games if we can't make 5, 6, 7 threes. Making 2 threes, it's a tough way to win.
What can Alterique do better in late in games? Obviously, he's trying to make something happen, and he's made some mistakes.
Al's really helping us, build something here that you can't necessarily see. Again, it's not, in terms of wins and losses and, sterling performance. But what you don't see is a guy that is helping us build a culture of toughness, build a culture of professionalism, the way he shows up every day for lifts, for video, for practice. He's the most energized guy. He's the best communicator. He's setting a tone for the program that we can really build something with, once we have everything else in place. So from a basketball standpoint, your job as an offensive player, when you're playing good offense, if you could draw 2 guys, if you draw 2 guys offensively, you just did a good job. Now you got to find where that ball needs to go next. And just the dilemma for Al in the game is we don't have a lot of playmakers on offense. Right. We don't have a lot of guys that can create offense with the dribble or can play in ball screen. So he ends up with a lot of pressure to make a lot of the plays for us to create offense. So he's got to make better decisions, and when he draws 2, he's got to go to the appropriate place with the basketball. And I think that he's just I got to do a better job coaching him to do that and reminding him of that, particularly in late game situations.
You and Frank good?
Me and Frank were good.
Even after the game, you were good, right?
We were good. Me and Frank, we spent, me and Frank are good. We spent Adidas trips together. Our wives are pretty friendly. Everyone just lost their mind last year on my birthday.
I don't know how much. Looking at their program, they really seem to overachieve almost every year. It's surpass expectations. I mean, it's pretty impressive. They don't do a whole lot, but I said that. Not
please, Dave. No, they do a great job. Frank is. Frank's had a tremendous career in coaching and got so much respect for how hard they play. Defensively, 38th in the country, according to Ken Palm, defensive efficiency. They don't beat themselves. He's obviously been there, and he's been there. He's built a really good program there, and their performance versus Memphis was as impressive a start to finish performance as we've seen this year at both ends of the court. So they got tough guys, older guys. They're a real physical team. They're really an older team.
You said after the Wichita State game that James would be unleashed here. Have you seen him grow since getting inserted in the starting lineup?
Yeah, unleashed didn't mean that he was going to drop 25 a night, so I hope you guys didn't misinterpret. Meaning, unleash him and let him kind of, play through things and get the valuable experience that, you see flashes of it, with him, his plays in transition. He had a couple breathtaking plays in transition. He's making less defensive mistakes. He's got to get tighter with the ball. He's got to be a lot more aware of his shooting mechanics. He's got to be a lot more shot ready. I think he's the type of guy that, hopefully at some point this year we'll have a couple games where he makes 3, 4 threes in a game. He has that type of shooting capability. But yeah, we need obviously a Cook and James. obviously get opportunity to play through a lot of mistakes and just gain valuable experience that we'll be able to cash in on in the future. And and I really liked what Gaffney did. Against Cincinnati or against Houston, excuse me. I did not like how he played against Cincinnati. He had a great pull up in the first half. He looked decisive. Tremendous finish late in the game there, where we couldn't finish a whole lot at the rim. And then it was kind of scary looking at that huddle on the technical foul with who was going to shoot it, and to have him step to the line there and just with ice water there was impressive. So. Playing with Al, just getting more playmakers on the court is big for us. So.
Isaiah, which he's really took, the Avs had a great game there.
Yeah, man, to be able to, we couldn't play him much in the Villanova game because they were so small, but that was an encouraging performance. So hopefully, this is another big physical team, so he'll get another chance.